in a nutshell. I'm Vic, one of your hosts.
And I'm Scott, the other one. Hi guys.
Hello, and today we're in the Five Guys office and we're going to be talking about all things intranets, mainly Oak, obviously. So first off, do you want to give the listeners a bit of an overview about you?
An overview about me. Okay, so my name is Bastian. I work for Five Guys in the comms team. I think I've been working in the comms team for 3 years, but in Five Guys as a whole for 8 years. And myself and Chris, who is the head of the department, obviously have been working with you guys very closely to launch and have the app called Chatty at Five Guys.
Love it.
It's going in.
Yeah. So to start, let's talk about how Oak and Five Guys came to be. So how did you end up joining forces?
So I think if we go back and probably 3 years ago, we realized as a business that communication was not as good as it could have been. So one of the things that we did is we decided to sit down with a bunch of crew members, a bunch of managers, and also people that work in our support office helping out the stores. And we just asked them the simple question. It was, okay, what are the difficulties or what are the things where you say we need to improve as a business in terms of communication, but also in terms of accessing information? Previous to Chatty or all these systems, it was very difficult for us to engage with our crew members or even give them the material that they needed in order to better themselves as a crew member or go up the career pathway that Five Guys has. Yeah. Pretty much what came out of most of the groups was that an app was the best solution. So we listened to our teams, we did exactly what they told us to do, and we went out on the hunt. And little did I know that there are, I want to say thousands, probably not that much, but there are a lot of intranet and communications apps out there. So, it must have been, I want to say 15, 20 companies that we met. We went through the same process. So would our teams like it? Does it work for Five Guys? Can we build it the way that we would like to build it? And then we kind of narrowed it down to 10 vendors, let's say. One of them was obviously you guys. And then what we said is, how can we get approval from our teams? Because important to us was that the app needs to be built by Five Guys for Five Guys. Yeah. So what we did is we invited all of the vendors over to present their app in front of these focus groups. Yeah. And then we let them vote as to which one was the best. And you guys won at all. And that's pretty much how we picked it. And it was a very straightforward process. We wanted to have everybody involved from the stores, and here we are, 3 years later.
What was the main thing that stood out about Oak then from everyone else?
I think from all of the businesses that we met, there was like an instant click where we felt that you guys or those guys understood what we wanted from a communications app, and and it was just great to work with them. So a lot of Five Guys is like building partnerships where we get along with each other. It's not just a business relationship. It's something that we nurture and spend a lot of time with you guys and really build something together that helps Five Guys as a business. So I would say it's personality more than anything. You guys presented it very well. Yeah, and we had a lot of fun. Obviously later on than building the whole app. So I personally think it was the right decision.
What people say about Oak is that the people that make Oak, it definitely is.
And for our internal communication, it's the same thing, right? So the people are the most important thing. We don't really do that much to kind of get crew members to upload pictures and just share their experiences in store or all the great achievements that they've done. So I think we've also nurtured with you guys a great kind of culture in the business. Yeah. Which, if you don't have great people that you're working with, that's not going to work at all. So
very true. Yeah. So the app launched in 24 hours.
Yes.
Which is pretty quick. Yeah. Do you want to go through kind of how that came about?
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny personal story for myself. So, I knew that there was a pandemic looming, but I had this beautiful trip to Thailand booked for 2 weeks. I want to say I'm sitting at the beach and you just hear the news. It's like ramping up pandemic. I heard about it. There's Ebola. Nothing really happened at the end. So, I'm just like, it's probably not that important. But then I checked my phone once and I got an email to download Chatty. But I've been building it in the UK. And right before I left, we were in the testing phase. So we were just testing with a couple of districts, try to work out all the issues if there were any, and then launch it across the business. But obviously the pandemic happened, which was the big factor for us to launch in 24 hours. I wasn't even in the country, which means that I would say I spent the most time working with that. I went to the training sessions and I understood how to do it. But my head of department, Chris, obviously had to launch it because of the circumstances, and with the help of Graham and everybody at Oak, and you guys made it happen. I mean, I was quite surprised by what you guys managed to do in 24 hours, because I can see the whole back end and the structure of how it works. So yeah, it was great, and I think uptake at the very beginning was so good that I want to say we were very surprised by it.
When you opened it, was it exactly what you expected it to be?
The app?
Yeah.
We had one page essentially where what was really important to us is to communicate with everybody in the business, reassure them that everything's fine, we're taking care of you guys, don't worry. I know there's a lot in the news going out there, but trust us. And to be honest with you, what you needed for that was a little timeline where people can punch in some questions or just, encourage each other, and some latest news articles where you could just have like our CEO's updates to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And then over time, we just built it, which I think in terms of building an internal communications app, if you start small and build from that, it's better than having this massive thing where you're like, how am I going to maintain it? There's so many pages, sub-pages, folders. It gets quite overwhelming. So, I mean, I would recommend you always start a little bit. It's like very small, and just build from there. And that's what we've done. Amazing. And now it is quite big.
Yeah, I think we can talk about that later, like how it's grown.
Yeah.
Since you started. But so, like, what's the secret of getting like 99% of your users accessing?
I mean, I want to say it's the pandemic. Is 100% because a lot of the guys were like, before Chatty, before an internal communication, we had no real way to communicate with our crew members. More managers and above, but crew members was really difficult. The only way we could have done it is like a big mail merge or something like that, get a bunch of their email addresses and send them a physical email. Yeah. So with that, we just for the first time had the ability to speak to everybody in the business. And I think for a crew member at that time, at the beginning of the pandemic, to have an app that you can download that you can then see videos or communications from the support office reassuring you was probably the most important thing for them at that moment.
I think the next question was around the intranet kind of transforming communication, which I guess he's kind of touched on there.
Yeah.
If it was it just email previously that you kind of used to communicate?
No, we had an intranet. So there was a page so every store has a back of house computer which the managers can access, and then there was a page which is a really basic intranet, no communication side to it at all, where we just kept files. Yeah. And if you were a manager, you had access to the computer, you could download the files, and life was great. But if you're a crew member, you were extremely reliant on your manager to get you that stuff. And if your manager's busy, he won't do it, you'll forget, the manager will forget, and before you know it, it took you 5 days to get one document. Yeah. So what the intranet side of Chatty or what the whole Oak system gave us was that as a crew member, you were just able to go into the app. If you want to know how you're supposed to grill a patty perfectly, you just go to the training page on the app and you just look at the video or download like a PDF about it. Yeah. And then the same goes, we do something in the business called the more you learn, the more you earn. We have certifications or stations in our kitchen, so grills, fries, dressing. And we say, if you guys master that station, you guys get a pay rise. So it's in the interest for crew members to get access to these documents that help them learn how to work on these other stations so that they can get more money and then obviously go up the ladder. Yeah. So it all kind of played a big role. I don't know if it's gotten more people certified, but I'm 100% sure that more people find the information they need and they're more prepared for when they do get certified.
Like, how did you decide on the name Chatty?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. So again, like I said, it was always something built by 5 guys for 5 guys. So the way that we found what company we want to work with, we approached it the same way as to how we want to pick the name for our app. So we went out and we said, guys, or to all the teams, so all the stores out there, we said, guys, we need a name for this new internal communications app. Send me suggestions. So I think we gave them like 2 weeks to come up with names. We had 450 entries, everything from beef nugget, which some of the people in our support office thought was an absolute winner, to, everything extra scoop, all those types of stuff. But what we did in the office, we picked which we thought were the top 10. And also a lot of them like duplicates. So we said if one word was sent in, I don't know, or one name was sent in 15 times, let's pick it as a top 10. Yeah. And then we let the teams vote on the top 10, and Chatty won. And what we did for that crew member who suggested the name, we gave them £1,000 as a reward for selecting it. So what he could do with those £1,000 was take his whole store and his whole team out for a team day out, which was kind of the award. So yeah, we try to get them all involved. I think the name is very good as well. I don't think we would have come up with something better ourselves.
What were the top three?
Beef number was really high. I forgot what the third one was. I want to say we had like extra scoop, side scoop. We had all the way. All the way is all the way is a funny one because the way that we dress up. So you have 15 free toppings at Five Guys. When you come in, you'll be like, "Oh, can I have a hamburger or a cheeseburger?" And then we'll ask you, "What toppings would you like?" And if you say all the way, it's a set. Like type. And then not everybody knows it. Maybe it's a bit secretive. So they thought it was a cool name. Now not anymore. So if you go in, you could just say all the way, and then you get a certain amount of toppings. I'm not going to list them.
I like that. So do you do that with like other company decisions? Like you like vote on the intranet?
So yeah, we do competition. So actually, I think after tomorrow, we're going to do a dessert shake competition. So in preparation for the December period, we're going to let our crew members suggest what milkshake combination based on the flavors that we currently sell, they like or they think would do really well, and then they just suggest a way. We go try them out, and then we pick a winner, and then normally they'll get a prize for it. So yeah, bunch of competitions, football tournaments, online gaming. I'm sure you guys probably do that yourselves with your intranet. So I mean,
we had the World Cup, didn't we?
Yeah, we had the Euros.
That's
it.
So you do that? Yeah, it's similar stuff.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see you kind of have all your crew members involved in so much, but then obviously that kind of it comes through to even before you've already launched the app. You know, you've already got engagement with it because it's kind of been built by them from the ground up.
100%.
It's awesome to see.
No, that's definitely really important. And I think as a business, even before we had our app or internal communications app, we really engage with our team members. So we do stuff like voice meetings where one crew member from each restaurant comes to London. They get to meet let's call them the seniors. So we don't really do like titles and stuff like that, but they meet people in the support office to just express their opinion or what they think we can do better as a business. And we do crew parties, we do assistant manager conferences, but what we were not very good at was sharing all those things that we do with the rest of the business. So there were certain groups of people that, there's the GM conference where we all fly out, all our general managers to a country like, I don't know, we did Hungary last time when we were able to fly. So we do all that stuff, which only the general managers knew about, or only the assistant managers knew about. But now we have kind of a platform where we can share all these great experiences. So
and then everyone feels really involved.
Exactly, and then everybody has a thing that they're pushing. So we have a district manager who's very passionate about park runs or just jogging in general. So what he's doing is he has a weekly blog where he just tries to get as many people as possible to do a park run a week. And just share their experiences. So out of it, everybody has like a kind of a preference or something, their hobby that they like and they're really passionate about. And Chatty Patty has given them a platform where they can really express themselves. And nothing to do. And the great thing is, I mean, I don't want to say it's nothing to do with me like a bad thing, but it doesn't require me to maintain something crazy if one district manager wants to just blog about something. It's not. You know, you would think, oh my God, it's launching a blog. That's going to be a lot of work. You have to design stuff. It really isn't. If that's any confidence in certain words, it's not.
It draws like-minded people in the business together. So it's nice. Like we have hubs, don't we? Have like pets of own and things like that. So it's a way to connect people. In that.
I'm sure. No, but I agree. It's a great tool.
So has the business always placed an importance on employee engagement, or has that kind of come more recently, like with the pandemic, or?
No, it was really, so these conferences, right, that I was talking about, the assistant manager, general manager conferences, voice meetings, I don't know, calibrations. What we also do when we do new store openings, we send a bunch of support people out there. So you always have assistant managers, general managers, crew members engaging with other people. So I mean, we do a lot as a business. I think we probably do more than a lot of other people out there. But the platform just gives us something where, or the intranet gives us a platform where we can express or share all of these great stories.
And I guess, what do you see the most engagement within the app? Is it, the work stuff, or is it, like you're saying, jogging and those kind of extra?
So I think we made maybe not a conscious decision, but it's just evolved out of that to, I would say it's conscious, it makes it sound better. So we decided to put all the really important business updates into one weekly thing that's called the weekly operations update that comes out on a Monday. It comes out every Monday. It doesn't matter if it's bank holiday, who cares? It comes out on a Monday. And that's where you go, all the nitty gritty business stuff. You know, are your potatoes going to arrive on time? Where's the potato from this week? And so all that type of stuff. Yeah, people engage with it because they know they need to read one piece of content. And yes, it's a lot of text. You do have to read it. But it gives them all the information they need for the week. But what I would say is what we learned is that a lot of text does not work at all. Mm-hmm. So the stuff that has a bunch of paragraphs with God knows what, nobody will read it, or you will get the views on it, but nobody actually read the content. However, the second you put it in video form, you're like, oh yeah, I got it. This was a great video. Really understand it. Yeah. So what we've just learned is that people consume information via videos, especially in our business where we probably hire younger people. Yeah. So yeah, what I would recommend is anybody who wants to share content, you better get yourself somebody who can hold a camera and edit because you won't get the same type of engagement.
It's a lot more personal, isn't it? And then you feel like you're actually like connecting to someone rather than just like reading text. It is.
So I think probably if I would pick one video that's the most popular, it's the updates from our CEO, from John. Yeah. And I mean, normally you would write a text and you would have a nice signature and people would read it and then thank you very much. But we always record all of his updates. And especially at the beginning of the pandemic, he did like daily updates. So every day you would go into the app and you see John talking about what's going on. What is he doing? What's the plan for the next day? So it worked great. So I can't recommend videos enough. And that's what we're doing one right now.
So I was going to ask, like, what are the most popular types of content? So like video, but then like obviously, how long have you been with Oak now? A year?
I think it's more. I think
really?
Probably at the beginning. I mean, if you do sign contract, it probably took them 2.5.
Yeah.
But you normally need to spend 6 to 10 months building. Yeah. There's this funny thing where, especially with Graham would be like, guys, don't worry too much about the design. Think about structure, content. Yeah. We're like, yeah, Graham. Listen, I understood. But it's really important. You need to get all your structure and your content in line in order to then build the app and then think about the design stuff afterwards. So I would say always listen to what the old guys say, first of all. Yeah. But no, really work on your structure, get that in place, get your documents, your PDFs, the stuff that is always going to be text ready, and then think about how you can create videos to get people engaged with the platform. And then they check out the videos because it's cool, and then if they need important information about training, they can access that too. Yeah.
So is it mainly just video content, or do you have a mixture? Like
it's a mixture. Yeah. We got blog posts. A lot of it is video. We do the weekly operations update, which is text, and then obviously we got the timeline, which is just naturally populated by all the stores. Yeah. And it's a really busy timeline. I mean, there's a lot going on, and they share a lot of the pictures and updates from stores. So yeah, it's really great. It's a mixture. I want to say I use nearly every single tool. Or pictures. For example, we had a football tournament. Uploaded a bunch of pictures in the video. So yeah.
Do you measure any engagement? How do you kind of?
So we do quarterly reviews with you guys where you tell us. So I think the next thing is also Chatty doesn't only just exist in the UK. It's across the whole joint venture, which are 3 other countries on top of the UK, which is Germany, France, and Spain. I look at the UK and I take care of what UK engagement is, and then we have country content managers who take care of their own stuff, pretty much. And then what we just do is on news articles itself, you can check out the analytics for specific content. And then if we want a general overview, we just speak to you guys at Oak and you help us out with it.
So you don't look for anything particular, it's just kind of an overview.
Not really, yeah. Numbers will fluctuate. So I mean, I don't think you can change.
Yeah. Was it like that way since the app launched? Like, was it 4 different countries? Or did it kind of...
First the UK, and then we slowly phased in the other ones, step by step.
Yeah, what is your favourite feature of Oak?
I mean, I think... So I love like a custom content feature, which people look at me and be like, what? Why do you like that? But I think in terms of the business, it's a timeline. Yeah. So where you can engage with everybody and upload your pictures. So I think that's definitely probably the number one applet. And for me, because a custom content applet lets me do whatever I want in the app, that's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I guess for you guys, kind of, as you mentioned, you've got more of a younger workforce.
Yeah.
That timeline it's so intuitive. You kind of already know how to use it, and it's familiar to other social platforms. So
100%.
it makes it so easy for your guys.
Yeah. You're not teaching them how to upload
No.
a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. It's straightforward. You're not teaching them anything.
Yeah.
Which is great. Of course, actually, it's probably a good point because maybe some people are worried about that you would need to do a whole training course, educate everybody on the app, but it's quite intuitive.
It's good to know. It's good to hear.
It's working.
What do your employees say about Oak and the app?
I think it's very positive. So for us, the reassuring part or the thing that gave us a lot of confidence is when we did our mid-year reviews. So that's where every general manager in the business kind of presents their numbers for the first half of the year. Everybody spoke about Chatty Patty as if it was a part of the business.
Right.
So they would just say, "Yeah, we did this on Chatty Patty." And it was just like it was always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which for us was like, I think this thing landed. It's a part of the business. Everybody knows it. The general managers acknowledge it. They use it, and that was extremely reassuring to us or for us. So I think they love it. Is my guess, and also the engagement numbers, adoption rates. They show us that they do enjoy it.
Yeah. I think it's the same for us. It's like when we joined Oak, I'd never worked for a company that had an intranet before. And I think when you're isolated working from home, when you have that whole ability to connect with everyone, it's just it makes joining so much easier, communicating, and it's that social aspect of connecting
100%. No,
everyone.
100%.
It's great.
I agree.
So, what are some of the challenges when faced with an intranet, and how can you overcome them? How can you make that work with Oak? I know a lot of people tend to have trouble thinking of types of content, or how do they keep it consistent? Do you have any tips for that?
I mean, it depends on your business, but I would say there's something that you do on a weekly or bi-weekly basis that just stays the same way. And then the other stuff, I mean, you got to be a bit creative. Just think outside the box a bit. Maybe it's probably the best way to do it. I mean, honestly, we just brainstorm and just come up with ideas, pick suggestions from the teams. They'll tell us stuff that they want to do, but it's really dependent on your business, I think. But you got to think creative. You got to think outside the box.
What are the most creative suggestions you have?
No, we do crew board competitions. So every store in a quarter designs a board where we pick a winner and they get a prize for it. That's quite creative. So we give them a theme.
Yeah.
They create a board. I don't know what the last one. I think it was I don't even know what it was. I think it was about the founding brothers, Five Guys, so something about the Five Brothers itself. And then they create a beautiful board. We select the winner and they get something for that. So, I mean, you would be okay, crew board competitions for restaurants. That seems a bit out of the norm.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say that, if anything.
Really? You got guys at restaurants collaborating on projects?
Yeah, no, 100%. But that's probably one of the wackier ones.
Who are the founding brothers?
The Morel family.
Yeah.
So there's one family, 5 brothers.
Yeah.
They're actually coming next month.
Oh.
Visiting actually Newcastle and Teesside area. So.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, why have they headed there?
With drive-through. The first drive-through.
Yeah.
Right.
The successful drive-through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, exactly.
Next question is kind of around deskless workers, which obviously a lot of your workforce are.
Yes.
And how does Oak have to bridge that gap, which I think probably kind of
I think massively. Because we, like I was saying, right, we had no way to communicate with our deskless workers, which is 99% of our workforce, right? So I think it's a game changer in that aspect. And I think the great thing with you guys was that you keep developing the app itself. I think at the very beginning we came in and it was kind of, I wouldn't say the app was a new feature, but it wasn't around for that long. And then working with Graham, working with Michael, there's a guy in your tech team called Matthew that I work with a lot as well. They took a lot of the feedback on board, and I think they also realized if you want to really engage with deskless workers, you need to do some of the stuff that we're requesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in terms of being able to speak to crew members, I mean, you have this personal chat function on the top right corner of the app, and I mean, when was I ever able to speak to anybody across, and because we're the whole joint venture, we're all the countries, France, Germany, I can speak to somebody in Spain who's on the fry station in our store in Malaga. So
yeah,
I think not in our wildest dreams would we have ever thought that you could do that. So in terms of, yes, engaging with people, 100%. And I think for deskless, an app is the best solution. Everybody has a mobile phone. Everybody has a smartphone. Yeah, okay, some people might say, oh, you're getting them on their personal phones to download a work app. But for me, I mean, if you want to know what's going on at your job, if you want to be engaged with your business, if you want to be a great employee, you'll naturally just do that just to stay on top of things. And it's not like we put work on the app. It's not like you log in and you have to fill out a 15 questionnaire, right, on how you flip burgers.
It's just like having like Facebook or Messenger or something.
Yeah.
It's like going on BBC News to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I would equate it to the same. So I think if you are really a business where, I don't know, a haulage firm where you got a bunch of truck drivers who don't have desktops, perfect. You know, if you want to send an emergency warning to, like, just in case, let's say we have an issue with a product in our store, we have the ability to send a push notification, an email, a quick news article update to everybody in the business to say, guys, there's an issue with a product, take it off the shelves.
Yeah.
Which, how do you normally ensure that? I think that's great for us, and really reassuring that we have the capability to do that.
Yeah.
You know.
And you can see
it hasn't happened yet, but just in case.
yeah. Worst case.
No, I don't want to put it out there that we have product issues. so no, we don't have any product issues. But as an example, to have the capability to do that, to reach out to people, and
it's done, and you can see who's read it and know.
Exactly. You got the read receipts. Exactly. You can get people to either accept or decline.
Yeah.
The ability when they press decline to kick them out the app. You have a lot of capability, right? Yeah, but you're right. All these read receipts. As a business, you think, and then you go to this one company, you're like, oh, can I get merge mail? Or can you do these emails? Can I get... And you're trying to figure this all out. You got a one-stop shop where you can do everything, and it's very straightforward.
Do you think it's like people are majority mobile or desktop, or is it like an even split?
I would say mobile. And I would say people don't even read emails anymore, especially our workforce. So if you go to university or you're between like 18 and maybe 30 or something like that, it's... Apart from if you work at a desktop, you're not. A lot of people don't read their email every single day. Yeah. They'll go on Instagram, they'll go on Twitter, they'll go on Facebook, they'll go on all that stuff before they read their email. So it's like we were sometimes so archaic and just sending people an email. We're like, this guy hasn't replied in like 2 days. It's like, yeah, because he hasn't checked it out. Like, it's just doesn't do that. Whereas an app is
always the case, isn't it? You send someone like a message and you get like an instant reply. You know, like, send an email.
Yeah.
3 days ago.
No,
They just get lost in emails, can't they? Because you just get like...
Yeah. And that's why a lot of people, like a lot of stores use WhatsApp groups to engage with all their team members. And then we were like, okay, but we can provide that on chat. Why not use something that is built by Five Guys, right? Why don't you just use the chat function in the app itself?
Yeah.
So, it's another plus for us. Right.
In the next episode, we're going to be discussing like 4-day work weeks, 5-hour work days. Like, what does the future of hybrid working look like for Five Guys?
So the way that we are a business where the majority of our teams don't have the capability to work remotely.
Yeah.
It's more important for us to share that experience, or to do the same thing. So if we are all sitting at home supporting the teams that are working in the stores, really grinding it out, speaking to customers, I personally feel that that's wrong. But it's also specific to Five Guys. I'm not saying that should be everywhere. If you're an accounting firm, I can understand why you don't want to be in the office every single day. But for us, because we're a customer-facing business, we want to engage with our customers. We want to engage with our teams. I personally think it wouldn't be the right thing if you don't at least be there 5 days a week.
Yeah, it's different for every business, isn't it? It's like the nature of the business as well.
But the thing that we do is everybody who joins Five Guys, we get them to work 2 weeks in a restaurant.
Yeah. So
that they understand that we don't call this place the head office. I call it the support office. Our job is to support people in the restaurants. It's not our job to tell people in the restaurant. Yeah, in a sense, advise them on what is the best thing to do. But we're not in the business of telling people and telling people off. Yeah. We're in the business of supporting and nurturing talent and, creating a great business environment, a great culture. And I think to create great culture, you need to live that in the support office. It's really important that we do it.
Yeah. How have you been operating over COVID with have you had like staff in the restaurants though, like in the kitchen?
So we never shut down all of our restaurants. We kept 12 or 13 of them open during the whole of the pandemic. So what we did is, obviously, news shut down. We made the decision to keep 13 restaurants open.
Yeah.
And then we noticed that these 13 restaurants were providing a service to the neighborhood that was well received and, reflected in the sales, best way to put it. And then what we decided to do is, if our teams want to, and this is where Chatty also helped out a lot, they want to go back onto the line because they don't want to be at home, they want to help out, they want to work, they want to earn some money, they can sign up, and we use Chatty for them to sign up. And if we had enough people in one restaurant sign up so that they want to go back to work, we would open that restaurant up. And that's how we were able to open our restaurants up very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of how we did it. And then in terms of the support office, yes, a lot of people started working from home. There's a bunch of us who stayed in 5 days a week throughout the pandemic, just because we are a support function.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it worked very well.
Yeah.
I think we came out of the pandemic better than we were before, if that makes any sense.
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
In terms of the culture within the restaurants, our standing within the rest of all the restaurant brands in the UK, and I personally, I think. Yeah.
Do you think you would have been able to keep that culture going if you didn't have the intranet?
I think it would have been substantially harder.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it, but I don't even think it would have been really possible, I would argue. Because how would you engage with everybody? How would you speak? We would have had to come up with something else, which I don't know if there is a better solution out there. Well, somebody's yet to convince me of it, so.
We don't think there is.
No, I agree. Honestly, like, thinking hard, I would say it really is a game changer in a sense. If you use it the right way, if you put a lot of energy, time into it, it makes a massive difference. Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, how would you say that you can make the most out of your intranet and make the best use of it?
So first of all, come up with I'm going to sound like I've worked for Oak already. Sort out your structure. Decide, go into your My Documents, very basic. If you let's say you work in the business like we do, you have departments, you have operations, procurement. Decide what you want to put into these department pages. And always, if you say you want to do 10 documents or you want 10 folders, always have it. So you always think bigger than you're actually capable of doing, I've realized. So you always say, I want to do everything, but just go for half, or just start small and then build from there. I would say come up with something that you do on a weekly basis, so a regularly scheduled piece of content that people can rely on and they know what happens. And then convert all your text into videos. So if you want to just tell people, hey guys, can you just quickly check that your right to work is up to date? Just do it in a video, take your phone out, record it, upload it, and get it done with. I think those are probably the three things. Yeah. Again, structure is really the most important thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to bang on about it, but because I didn't listen to Graham at the beginning. I was like, let's design something really pretty. And then he was like, no, don't do that. And in a sense, it's come a bit to bite me in the ass, if I can say that. But it's come a bit to bite me in the ass. But honestly, working with Graham and then obviously solving the issue around structure, it really helped. But honestly, always start with structure.
Thank you.
Right? No problem.
Thank you for your time.
No worries.
Great.
Great to see you guys.